Good morning. I just hit afternoon. It's 12:05 on January 22nd, 2023. Holy shit. 2023. I'm back again for the 22nd installment of the Mincho Network. And today I really have nothing to talk about. I really should get up and just talk before I start talking like to Mads and like consuming shit on the internet. But there's things that we just had a really big discussion about. I won't get into it, but we had a big discussion before, and it's like that sort of was mentally draining. And I want to like touch on those topics, but I just feel like I won't do them any justice on this, and so I'm not going to. Anyway, I've just opened up a Marcus Aurelius Meditations book, and I just read this passage, which I thought was pretty good. So I want to read it and then discuss it. And maybe before I do that, I'll talk about the day I had and how I'm feeling. So I'm not feeling as sore. I'm feeling kind of sore from the gym from boxing session in my right lat, like my back muscle that sort of connects the back muscle. It's like when I lift my arm up, it's just like behind my armpit there. That's still tender as anything from working out, but I think that'll just be like that because I haven't worked out in so long. But I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really healthy. I want to get out and I want to go to maybe I'll go to the gym tonight. But I want to get back into it. Concerned for my lung health, obviously. My asthma. I need to go and get a new asthma puffer today, and I'm going to book in for Friday next week to see a doctor and get a preventer, so that I can start taking my lung health a little bit more seriously, especially with my cardio training and everything I want to be doing with the gym. But I'm not feeling as, I guess, emotional. I've been eating too much, that's for sure, but like in a positive way for the gym, obviously. I've just been eating a lot of food, a lot of high protein stuff, to try and build muscle and get that recovery kick-started. I reached out to my little sister after my podcast the other day where I was a bit upset, and I just messaged her saying I loved her and I hope she was doing okay, which was nice. She responded. It was nice. I just feel like I need to reach out more often if I want to have our relationship at all. Anyway, I'll get into this Marcus Aurelius passage. It was in book 2. It's passage 14. It says, "Even if you were destined to live 3,000 years or 10 times that long, nevertheless remember that no one loses any life other than the one he lives, or lives any life other than the one he loses. It follows that the longest and shortest lives are brought to the same state. The present moment is equal for all, so what is passing is also equal. The loss, therefore, turns out to be the merest fragment of time. No one can lose either the past or the future. How could anyone be deprived of what he does not possess?" There's a second part to it. "So always remember these two things. First, that all things have been of the same kind from everlasting, coming around and round again, and it makes no difference whether one will see the same things for 100 years or 200 years or an infinity of time. Second, that both the longest lived and earliest to die suffer the same loss. It is only the present moment of which either stands to be deprived, and if indeed this is all he has, he cannot lose what he does not have." That's so interesting. So all you have is the present moment. And unfortunately for you, the present moment is sitting here listening to my voice, realizing that we only have the present moment. I do have an issue of that, getting stuck in my head and thinking about the future or looking back on the past. I think it's important to look back on the past and be reflective, right? You can't look back on the past and be like, I can't believe that happened to me. Use it as a lesson. Everything teaches you a lesson. And I was listening to something before, and there was a man, he was Islamic man, and he said that he was explaining why they pray 5 times a day. And one of the things he said was that he was a fighter, and he talks about, I pray before my fight, I pray to God that to give me the win if it's right for me, and if it's not right for me, if it's part of my journey to lose, give me the loss. If it's not good for my ego or anything, let me lose, to show me to be humble. And I think it's interesting to subscribe to a belief system or an idea like that, where you, we all want things, we all have desires and aspirations, but the universe, or in this case God, will give you those things based on whether you can handle those things. And if you choose to look at everything as life happening and you're experiencing it rather than things happening to you, life becomes a little less challenging. And I think the things that you can get caught up with become a little less convoluted. I think you become way less susceptible to being indoctrinated or manipulated into believing certain things about yourself or others, because you're controlling that freedom of thought and you're allowing it to be part of the universe, or in this case, like I said, God, where you can these things happen to me and my reaction is the only choice I have. And I could think about the things that have happened to me, and I could think about my upbringing, I could think about people who have done me wrong, I could think about all those things. But then the same conversation goes like, if you don't know how to live, what statistical likelihood do other people around you know how to live? And so if everyone's trying to figure it out, who's to say that they're right and you're wrong? And I think as long as your thought process isn't damaging other people or yourself, live your life the way that you want, and just stay present and be here in the moment. Don't think about the future too much. Don't think about the past too much. Don't get caught up in those things that you, quite frankly, never had. That's an interesting thing. It's so interesting to me. It's so fascinating to me that Marcus Aurelius lived, thousands of years ago, and he wrote these things, and they were just his diary. These meditations are just like the things that he read and wrote and thought, and they were his lived experiences written onto paper. And we sit here today and we read them and we look at it and we look at Stoicism and we think, yeah, wow, that's such a great way to live. And there's so many different ways. There's Taoism, Buddhism, obviously all these other religions like Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Jewish. I don't know what the is it Jewish? I think the religion. I don't know anything about that. Or Greek Orthodox or anything like that. Catholicism. All of these different things are just like they sort of stem from. They're just a belief system. They're just a way of living. They're a way of, if you don't know how to live, follow these principles of living, and you will live a good life. And I mean, it's fair enough, right? Because if you don't know what you're doing, and it's just easier to follow a belief system that works for you and it works for other people and it's not damaging, I mean, why not? Fair game, right? It's better than being stuck in limbo, stuck in a position where you don't know what to believe or who to believe or what to think and what, you know what I mean? And if you stand for something, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, I think is the quote. And I think that that can be scary. And so it's easy to join groups and find your tribes. And it's just so interesting, human behavior. Maybe I should study it. Maybe I should look into it. Or maybe I should just read and think more, and then just continue doing this every day. Maybe I won't finish after 365. Maybe I'll just sit down and talk to a microphone in front of a wall. Maybe I should put a mirror up so I'm talking to myself in the mirror. Nah, I get too distracted. I'd be looking at myself the whole time and I'd be thinking about like all the different things, all the vain things that you think. Wow, why are my eyes so big? Why do I make that movement with my mouth when I talk? Oh, I should shave my mustache or trim my mustache down. I wish my teeth were whiter. All the shit that we say to each other or ourselves, in the mirror. we're just vain, simple little beings, aren't we? We all have the same issues and we pretend like we don't. We pretend like the issues that I have and the issues that you have differ, and they're drastically different, when in reality, you and I are the same people. And I think the thing that makes this so compelling to listen to, or that might make this so compelling to listen to, or at least in the future be studied or just locked away, is that I'm just saying things from the perspective of life that I have. I'm just, thinking out loud. And in the same way that Marcus Aurelius wrote down these things that we now have in books that I can access, I too am sitting here journaling, and these podcasts are my meditations, and I'm young, and so they're changing, and my worldview changes and my perspective changes, and I don't want to be lumped into this box of narrow-mindedness, but things have to make sense. They don't have to make sense, but for me to process them properly, I want them to make sense. And so, I think the same way that we, label things in society and filter things so that we can think about them, the amount of information you consume in a day, you need to be able to filter that quickly and consume it appropriately. And so that's why we have labels, and we have, anyway, whatever, it is what it is. But I just think it's interesting that I sit down for 10 minutes to 20 minutes a day, and I just talk to a microphone, and it starts as not knowing at all what I'm going to say, and it ends with oftentimes closing out the 20 minutes where I'm sitting there talking. I wonder if you can hear that bird. I'm sitting here talking all day. Not all day, the whole time. There's very little pauses between. And so a lot of it seems like word vomit, and it more than likely is. If I sat back and I listened to everything in 10 years' time, would I be sitting there thinking, wow, what a dickhead, Probably not, because I would look at it and be like, okay, this kid lacked perspective, but still, maybe I look back in 10 years and I'll be like, wow, where did I go wrong? Why did 27-year-old me know more than 37-year-old me? I just hope I never lose the things that make me me, the things that make me Mincho.